So the first question is just give me a little background about yourself, like your name, your age, where you're from, where you live.
My name is Warren Young. I'm 29. I was born in Page, Arizona. That's pretty much right by Lake Powell. I lived there for 10 years, and then I live in Utah, Salt Lake City since 1993.
And what are you studying? So your major, minor?
My major is business, and I'm currently studying administration, but I'm going to transfer to management.
And what year are you?
Junior.
So how did you decide on your major?
I changed my major 3 times when I was at the community college, and I just took a introductory course to business, and I just pretty much really liked it. That's pretty much the beginning right there.
Are you involved in any extracurricular activities or programs at the U?
Yes, I plan on getting into intramural leagues, and I plan on playing flag football.
Why did you decide to attend the university?
It's something I've always wanted to do since I was probably in high school. You know, I'm a big sports fan also, so I watch Utah basketball, Utah football, and I've just pretty much always wanted to come here.
How is education important to you?
It's very important to me. I think, you know, you have to have a solid foundation to kind of basically put your foot in the door in the professional world. So it's very important to me just to kind of learn things in different areas, just to kind of, you know, broaden your skills so you can become a more well-rounded person. Sorry.
So tell me a little bit about your family. Has anyone in your family attended college before?
Yes, my aunt, she pretty much raised me. I have a, you know, a long story. That's a long story. But my aunt, she came to the U and she has an accounting degree with the University of Utah. So I'm the second person in that, you know, in my first family, I guess, in my direct family.
Are or were any of your family members in the military?
Yes, my uncle, which is a great inspiration to me. He went to Desert Storm back in 1991, and then I've had grandpas that were World War II veterans, and one of them was a code talker, a Navajo code talker in the Marine Corps, and another one was in the Navy, and he's been to, like, you know, many great battles, and they tell me quite a bit of stories. So every time I go and see them, it turns into like a great story fest.
What events led you to join the military?
I'd say it was mostly my family, and I kind of wanted to join. They made it sound fun, and they made it sound like adventurous. And then second was pretty much my friends back in high school, which I'm still friends with today. But I went to boot camp with them on the buddy program, and so I went to boot camp with them and spent the whole 3 months with them, and then we went our separate ways once we hit the fleet.
And could you describe a little bit more about what the buddy program is to people who might not know?
Okay, the buddy program is when you're in high school, or maybe even past high school, but basically when you want to go to the Marine Corps boot camp together. So there's like it's pretty much a 100% deal that you're going to be with your friends no matter what in boot camp, rather than being separated once you get into boot camp. So it's just pretty much a sure thing, a sure way to be with your friends when you're in boot camp.
This may be redundant, but it may bring up something. What was your biggest reason for joining the military?
Traveling and adventure, pretty much. Honestly, the one thing that sold me was when the recruiter showed me a video of people jumping out of helicopters, shooting guns, there's smoke in the air, and, you know, it just looked kind of fun. So I actually turned down, I was supposed to go to the University of Utah in the year 2000 once I got out of high school, and I got accepted, but I turned it down and went to the Marine Corps instead.
How would you describe yourself prior to joining the military?
Immature. I wouldn't know what else to describe about that, but I think it's taught me lots of skills, and it's made me a better person by far. I've learned lots of principles and morals from the Marine Corps, and they teach very good things to make you know, a person, a very good human being in general.
What was your perception of the military before you joined?
Gun happy people, pretty much. That's pretty much it right there. You know, I was in high school, so I didn't really know a lot. The only thing that I really thought about was really just jumping out of helicopters and shooting guns. So, but once I got out, that whole idea changed.
Yeah, so what is your perception of the military now?
I think it teaches young men, young kids, I guess that's for lack of a better term, to become, you know, grown adults that have that can make, I guess, really good decisions. You know, the one thing I liked about being in the Marine Corps was it taught me lots of, you know, traits that I don't think I would have unless I went to the military. Like one of the big things is being, you know, a leader and leadership traits, and you actually go to schools for those. They have their own internal schools in the Marine Corps. At least that's the only thing I can speak for. And they teach you lots of, these schools are just directed at teaching people just to become, you know, just a better individuals.
Sure. What do you think you would have been like if you didn't join the military?
I kind of think about this a lot, and honestly, I still can't come up with a good answer. I probably would have went to the University of Utah still, you know, but right out of high school. And from there, I have no idea where I'd be, honestly. So that's pretty much that's it. Yeah, it's all speculation. I can.
So you said this before, but could you tell us your branch of military?
I was in the United States Marine Corps. I joined in August of 2000, and then I went to boot camp and got out of boot camp somewhere between November 2000. Then I went to the School of Infantry for a month there in December, and then I finally went to the Fleet, which is pretty much your permanent duty station. And I was with 1st Battalion, 7th Marines in 29 Palms, California, and they're with the 1st Marine Division.
And so, are you currently active duty?
I am not. I did 4 years active duty. You sign an 8-year contract. I did 4 years active, and then you do 4 years inactive. So the inactive basically means that you're on call just in case an emergency ever arises. So those 4 years, you're living a civilian life, but you're always on call.
And you've mentioned that. What was your occupation?
I was my MOS, military occupational specialty, was 0311. That's infantry or rifleman. That's what they describe it as, and I did that, you know, for all 4 years. And I've also been to Japan with that also, and many great countries besides that too. So,
did you get to choose your occupation?
it was that at that time. Well, that's the funny thing about this is the recruiters. I didn't know this until I was in the Marine Corps, but recruiters have to meet a quota, so they have to put like certain young people into certain jobs. And at that time, he just told me that, you know, I can either be a radio communicator, radio communications, and that didn't really sound too fun to me. And then, you know, he said infantry, and then, you know, that's basically comes back to the part of jumping out of helicopters and shooting guns. So of course I went with infantry, and I don't have any regrets. It was a fun time.
And you've mentioned a couple places. Do you want to briefly tell us where you've been stationed?
Yes, my permanent duty station was in 29 Palms, California. It's in the Mojave Desert, so it gets very, very hot out there. And then I went 6 months to Japan, and then I did a 1-month tour in Korea. Where I was stationed in Japan was Okinawa, Japan. It's just a little tiny island that's south of the main island. And in Korea, I served in a little, well, actually it's not a little, but a city called Pohang. And I also went to Daegu also and served on the Air Force Base over there for that 1 month. I served just about a week in Germany, in Frankfurt, Germany. And I was stationed in 1 month in Kuwait and finally Iraq for that 9-month duration once the war kicked off back in 2003.
That's a lot of places. And of course, it's just an introduction, so and we'll talk more about that in the next interview. But is there anything else regarding any of these questions that you'd like to add or expand on?
I think I've expanded quite a bit, so I can't really think of anything else to add. Hmm.